In the ancient world, human survival depended on strength, numbers, and strategy. However, there is a common thread that has long defied those odds: male stupidity. The type of profound absent-mindedness that would lead 100 primitive men into challenging a single gorilla who was minding his own business. Today, we explore the absurd hypothetical: could 100 men defeat a single gorilla? Under a blazing sun, a lone silverback sits calmly in an open field of tall, dry grass, unaware as 100 primitive men, barefooted and silent, fan out along the edges, preparing to strike, armed only with their courageous idiocy. The silverback is a force of nature. Weighing over 400 pounds, it possesses strength 6 to 15 times greater than the average human. It can lift up to 800 pounds, break bones with a single swipe, and sprint up to 25 miles per hour. If threatened, a gorilla will attack with devastating force, with canines larger than a lion's to punctuate its brutal assault. The men are numerous but poorly equipped. No spears, no shields, armed only with courage and numbers. Humans are not wired to deal with such primal fear. Most would freeze or scatter, making it easier for the gorilla to pick them off. Gorillas can withstand extensive punishment before being incapacitated. It would take significant sustained trauma to bring one down. As the men close in, the gorilla stiffens, nostrils flaring. The distant rustle of grass and the scent of sweat betray the approaching fools. As the challenge begins, hesitation is the first enemy. The men realize how ferocious the 400-pound beast is up close. The gorilla senses fear. With terrifying speed, it charges into the nearest group. The first casualties are immediate: skull fractures, broken ribs, torn flesh. In the first 10 seconds, 5 to 10 men are critically wounded or killed. Panic is contagious. Many men instinctively flee, a fatal mistake. A running human triggers chase instincts in primates. The gorilla runs them down, inflicting further devastation. However, a small group stands firm. Surrounding the gorilla in a loose circle, they swarm the Goliath, aiming for the eyes, throat, and joints. It's a desperate gamble. A smaller, braver group attempts a dogpile. The gorilla flings attackers away with raw power, but the cumulative effort begins to take a toll. Fatigue begins to set in. The gorilla's sheer muscle mass demands enormous energy. In a prolonged fight, its strength begins to fade as lactic acid builds and exhaustion sets in faster than the leaner, more agile humans. The beast continues to fight off his attackers, but others get more opportunities to pounce. The gorilla is still overwhelmingly powerful as the death toll climbs, with 30 to 50 men now seriously hurt or dead. However, the survivors persist, and exhaustion and injuries wear the Hulk down. 24 men manage to pin its arms and legs. Others manage to cut off its air supply. After minutes of brutal struggle, the gorilla finally succumbs to exhaustion and blood loss. In the end, sheer numbers prevail, but the victory is Pyrrhic. Over half the men are dead or mortally wounded, with broken bones, organ damage, severed limbs, and psychological trauma for life. While the men secured a victory on this day, the cost of their foolish gambit is summed up in the legacy of delusional men who decide to test their mettle against the forces of stupidity.